One. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Disaster Tour. I'm PT, your Disaster Tour guide. We are... Oh, my lordy. That was interesting. Okay.
Oh.
I was trying to give myself some color. And I accidentally wiped the green screen.
You accidentally ceased to exist.
I saw the green screen disappear and all you had was a red light on your face. You just went to a dark void.
Anyways, everybody, welcome back to the Disaster Tour. Welcome into all our raiders from the Sky T. I'm PT, your Disaster Tour guide. Pretty much all I do on this channel at this point is roleplay content for TTRPGs.
That's the life.
It's great. We love it. It's phenomenal. None of those illusions went off. Why did none of the illusions go off?
It's because we're not. It's because we're not real. You can't cast an illusion on an illusion.
No, you're definitely real. It says that it doesn't. It doesn't recognize that I'm live.
Oh.
There we go. Okay, I'm gonna manually activate those.
Yeah.
While they go in. But, yeah, let me see if I can multitask and continue talking about myself, because it's my favorite thing to do. I'm PT, your Disaster Tour guide. I do almost exclusively tabletop RPG content. Bits, Crits, and Halfwits, the game that you are all here to watch, hopefully, is the longest-running campaign on the channel. It has been going on for 112 episodes, encompassing... God... almost 3 years now.
Dear Lord.
We hit 3 years in June. I cast illusion on myself. I meant to do it on Newson.
I am spared.
Everybody got whitewashed except for Lulin, who is gay.
That is in fact true. Lulin is canonically pan.
There you go. Love that for him.
But yeah, Bits, Crits, and Halfwits have been going on for 2 years. The Fires of Eureka is our current 4-week campaign, although we've done a few in the past. I think we've only done one in the past. We did Where the Sands Run Red, and then every once in a while we do just another one-shot, which is just some random nonsense that I throw together in my head that may or may not occasionally tie into the story.
Would you say it is in fact just another one-shot?
It is just another one-shot. And then, once upon a time, we partnered with an eldritch deity and did something called the Doug Shot, so...
That's so true. Which was just another one-shot, really.
It was just another one-shot. But... yeah. I don't have anything else to talk about myself. I should also probably turn off the Spotify.
Why don't we ask the characters a question?
Yeah, let's ask the characters a question. Do you get angry when you scream? Starting with Elliot Burning Oak, the half...
Wait, I think...
Do you
get angry when you scream?
Do you scream when you get angry? Starting off with Elliot Burning Oak, our half-elf Blizzard from Zraya, played by... No, my apologies. Lord Elliot Burning Oak.
Oh.
Played by, it's yours truly, Isaac. And Elliot, to answer the original question, gets less angry when he's screaming, but is usually screaming when he's angry.
Okay. And then we have Karakareem, the Furball Warlock from Elenia, played by...
Hello, it's me, Terminian Link VT, and... Karak, I feel, is the type that when they get angry, they just retreat into themselves, and it just becomes... It's like putting a really tight lid on a boiling pot of water. Something's going to happen if that pressure doesn't get released at some point.
In fact, I would argue that we are already seeing the consequences of your actions.
I love the consequences of my actions.
Oh, I'm best friends with Consequence. And then we have Newton Worldwalker, the Minotaur Sorbarian from Ulfast, played by...
It's me, the Sky T. Yes, I think Newton has frequently screamed when angry, so...
And screamed when not angry.
And, yeah, just, yelling.
Newton liked to scream.
Yeah, yelling's kind of a thing, you know?
And last
Yelling and sniffing.
yeah, yelling and wafting.
Yes, wafting. You gotta waft.
And last but not least, we have Lulin Boldspeaker, the Minotaur Druidin from Olfast, played by.
And me, Brambo, who's not best friends with their actions. I think it depends on who Lulin's angry at. Yeah.
I'm mad at myself right now because 112 episodes in, I realized I've been calling you a Druidin when I could be calling you a Paladude.
Paladude.
I love a Paladude. Lulin's
He's
such
a pal and a dude.
Lulin's such a Paladude.
But
I love that.
yeah, so do he scream?
It depends on the person. Depends on who he's mad at.
Interesting. Quiet anger, terrifying.
As it
Anyways,
should be.
last session on Bits, Crits, and Halfwits. I don't think a ton happened. I mean, there was one very big thing that happened that I'm going to keep to myself to not spoil it for the person who wasn't here.
Hi, that's me, the person who wasn't here.
Yeah. Alright. Well, without further ado, Hunters of Hope, you have just been... Sent away is the wrong word, but you were in the royal court. We're just going to say Lulin was there with you. Well, no, because that doesn't work, because then I have to tell him what happened. Lulin was at home, so the other three of you, Karak, Elliot, and Nuzin, you kind of have a game plan. You were talking to Elliot's brother. Where are you going from here?
Such a good question.
As a reminder of your time scale, you have a day and a half until the meeting with the... Words are hard. You have a day and a half until the meeting with House Elarothi. Because that is tomorrow night. And you have nothing going until then.
To the bog!
The what? The bog?
To the bars!
Why would we go to the... You have drank enough, Elliot.
But I still have money.
Yeah, okay, you have money that belongs to all of us, not just... I mean, you've got your lord money, but...
That's the only money I've been spending.
You don't need to drink through all your money. I think it would be put to better use, like, maybe furnishing this house? This empty house?
What house? We're not in a house.
You're in a palace.
Okay, whatever. It's close
Let's go.
enough. Oh, I do not need people on your dime agreeing with you. Newton just, like, turns and walks out.
Alright, to the door, I guess.
As you walk out, you hear something tap on stone behind you.
Well, of course I'm gonna look.
As you look back, Brennan is tapping on one of the pillars, looking up at it, and kind of like gives it a little soft push, almost as if he's seeing how dense it is.
When we come back. Later.
Fine.
This freaking guy.
I mean, at some point, we're going to have to talk to Mrs. Dream Shadow. We've kind of just left her at the house with Lulin. Like, can't avoid that forever.
Do you want me to not have alcohol and go talk to Mrs. Dream Shadow?
Yes.
That's the worst of both worlds.
Well, no one's sobered you up yet. You're still, you've got some buzz at least, so we might as well do it now.
I have the rest of the bottle. Okay. Either way.
As you head outside and move back through the gate, a familiar guard is waiting for you to retrieve your pendants.
Elliot will collect them.
Behind you, you hear...
One from Karak, and one from himself.
Behind you, you hear a just rapid... you see flashes of shadow coming over your shoulders, and you hear crackling as Brennan exits the gate.
I still think we should, magnetize one to him somewhere.
Did Newton learn about magnetism?
She's probably heard about magnets before. Ugh. But whatever, it's your reputation.
Yeah, the best thing for my reputation is we give all the badges back right now.
Again, Lord Boning Oak, if you simply stamp here, I can get you a week pass.
We'll see if we need it.
Your friends could come and go as they please.
We'll see if we need it.
All right.
I mean, it seems like to some extent people can come and go as they please anyway. She points at Brennan.
Yes, well, Lord Brennan, I believe, is the exception to the rule.
Ain't that the truth, though?
As Brennan steps through, he just drops, an empty cloth in this guard's hand and looks at him. Your lunch sucked.
I told you pickled fish was gonna be bad.
Wasn't great. So, where are we going next? I think I heard Elliot say bar.
Or not yet. We
Had
have
you
to
been
be.
paying attention, you could have overruled their overruling.
I still think I only get one vote.
I'll be
Yeah,
real.
well,
I just
I
realized
vote
I've
goes to
been
the
muted.
king.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I was wondering why you were being so quiet.
That would explain why you were gaping like a fish.
I was trying to hand Elliot the badge, and I was like, I feel like everybody's really slow to respond. I don't know what's going on. Just in my own little world.
Just vibing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at some point we're gonna have to. What I said was, I'd like to get the conversation with Miss Dream Shadow sorted at some point.
Definitely seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least we can explain that Lyra's not dead. Since she's gonna have to take care of her, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's one hell of a conversation to have.
And then maybe we get out of the city for a day.
And go where?
Well, I mean, Push Varens is right down the coast.
I mean, I guess we could just walk over the constructs now, but still.
We could take a ship.
Karak just looks through his book. It's like, I mean, I could have a ship be made. Karak just shows his recreation of the shitty ship drawing that Newson made a while back.
I don't think we need to create a ship. I don't think ships are hard to get.
Huh.
Just,
I mean, it's like a whole house on the water. That can't be easy.
well, yeah, but like,
Like, if they were canoes, like I was talking about before, then I could kind of see it, but...
there are ships that already exist in the world. You don't have to create one every time you need one.
Yeah, but that's someone else's ship, and then you have to convince them to use it, and... You know.
Money does that, I think, a lot.
True.
But let's go.
Yeah.
Newsom's just gonna start trudging back towards the house. Not that I wouldn't love to get away from bureaucracy, the town.
It'll be wonderful when everything's said and done and we can just start to ignore Rule 8 a bit more.
Of course, if we leave, it's probably going to look like we're fleeing, and that's just going to add more credence to the idea that we're causing a problem in the first place, and...
God, I hate that.
Only if you don't come back.
I mean, the rumors are going to spread before... If anyone sees us leave, the rumors will start spreading the moment we're gone. It doesn't matter if we come back or not.
Mm-hmm.
If we come back, it'll just look like a result of us finding out that someone thought we were running away and trying to... The thing is that someone is spreading this rumor regardless of truth. So no matter what we do, we're going to add to it, so...
God, that is... Do people worry about this in this town all the time? Because this is very confusing. Like,
Only if you're part of the royal family.
Remind me never to join.
Yeah, you don't get to, so should be good.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think you actually have to be invited.
Well, even better.
I mean,
Better.
Elliot's not even a part of the royal family anymore.
True. I got uninvited.
Oh.
So...
Anyway,
walk?
house.
Yes, let's go, please.
We need to talk with Miss Burning Oak. Not Burning Oak. My mind's
Dream
been
Shadow.
My mind's been everywhere today.
Is did I miss something? Is there a Miss Burning Oak? That would make your uncle very happy.
Nope. No Miss Burning Oak.
No Miss Burning
Not
Oak.
that he hasn't
yet.
been trying.
Oh, you've been trying?
No, his
Have I?
uncle.
Ah.
Your uncle has been trying to set you up with people. Different he. I should have been more specific.
Oh,
Yeah, I was confused.
oh my word. But yes, Miss Dream Shadow, we need to explain. Oh God.
As you make your way back through the city towards Fullwind's mansion, eyes are still on you as Brennan trudges behind you. As after about 25 minutes, you make it back to the cobbled path leading up towards the manor.
Having Brennan with us is really like having just a big scary dog around.
Hey, not a dog.
I didn't say you were a dog. I said it was like having a big scary dog.
I mean,
You are
you would be
you are
the
probably
expert.
big and scary to
Elliot
everyone,
is
though.
a big scary dog, half the time.
Yeah, but nobody
Yeah.
knows it when he walks around, you know?
I didn't even know it when I joined.
Yeah, until he bit you.
Well, he tried to. Stone skin makes it very hard to succeed in that.
You tried to bite him, Elliot?
There were extenuating circumstances.
Huh.
Big Moon.
You might have better intuition than I thought.
Thanks.
Hmm.
Anyways, shall we? This is going to be uncomfortable.
Yep.
Say that again.
Yes. As Elliot is suddenly drinking again, and no one knows where he got the bottle.
Oh, I forgot they had the bag of holding on them.
Newsom looks at the bottle still in her hand and then looks at Elliot and is like, where did that come from?
I've always had this.
Ugh. Alright, whatever.
Brennan kind of walks up next to you, Elliot. Oh, can I see that?
You can see the one Newsom has.
I'd rather see the one you have. It looks more full. Also, it looks like it's a finer vintage.
It's not.
I've been around long enough to know it is. May I? As he holds out a large metal hand towards you.
I feel like it's a waste to incinerate it, but sure.
Hey. Pretty sure I built in being drunk to this thing.
That seems like a poor design.
Says the
I mean,
man who's been able to drink for the last ever so many years.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to find a way to eat and experience, the finer things in life.
As are you giving him the bottle?
Yeah.
As he takes the bottle and he holds it with 2 fingers by the neck and then holds it above his head as the jaw drops open and he just drops the entire bottle in.
Yup.
You all hear a muffled whoosh from deep somewhere in the machinery's stomach. Oh. That is the good stuff.
Do you also taste the glass when you do that?
Does glass have a taste?
Kind of sandy.
Understandable. Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, I can't, bleed internally, so...
Oh yeah, I just think it would kind of ruin it to...
You can probably find the taste of anything. Anything that would kill most people. You probably have the most diverse... Wow.
I know.
Karok's just trying to understand everything about this and is just like, that's insane. That's amazing.
I'm really looking forward to figuring out what kind of kick drow poison adds to a meal.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Huh.
You're welcome to try it with me.
I think I unfortunately don't have the same constitution that I think you do.
Mm.
A single chug of Brave Apple Ale threw me on my ass, so...
As you get up to the door, and as the door opens, Lady Dream Shadow is still sleeping, kind of slumped over on the couch next to Lyra's very still body, as Brennan's body is still just laying on the other couch. Lulin, where are you in the room?
How long has it been since Lyra passed?
It's been like a day and a half now, but it's only been about 2 hours since the rest of the party left to go find Elliot.
Okay. Could I do a medicine and or religion check to see if I have to keep continuing to cast Revivify?
Yes, but it's gonna be an Arcana check.
Okay. I'm gonna reroll.
Okay. Perfect. Start burning them.
God!
You want to reroll again?
How many do we have?
23.
God damn. God. Yeah, one more.
What?
You know what? Fuck it, we'll take the 12.
You don't have to keep. You don't have to keep casting it.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So
But
where?
then I think Lulin is just gonna just taking care of the body, as well as like refilling up the stream shadows like water glass. He's just bringing like casual snacks, just like genuinely like taking care of her while she's going through this.
As you see the party enter, you see Elliot, Karak, and Newson come in. And then stooping and coming through the door is a 12-foot adamantine statue that you have not seen since it killed Derek in the Barrows.
I
Hey,
should I introduce you or should you? Karak looking up at Brennan.
I've already been introduced to Lulin.
Well, yeah, but
You don't
fact
look
that you
like
are
you.
you might need reintroductions.
with a 14, do I recognize his voice?
You would recognize the voice.
You know what, Brennan? Get your shiny ass over here. Lulin like outstretches his arms for a hug.
He kind of like walks over and wraps one arm around you, just, I'm taller than you too. This is a great day.
Karak just points to Luna. It's like, see, I told you. All you need is the voice, and you can and you know who it is. They have a particular cadence.
Is the cadence telling you to shut the fuck up?
I mean, you said that outright when you first showed up.
I would say I got that from the cadence, though.
Good, good.
I'm not
As
very-
he kind of clumps around this room, roll me perception checks.
Right here. This is my best one.
I am doing so great.
Damn, Newson, good job.
Yeah.
So nobody else notices, but Newson, you watch as he's walking across these tiles, there are cracks where his footsteps are.
Yeah, there's probably someone to fix that, right?
Are you saying that out loud?
Yeah, and there's a kind of like gestures to the footstep cracks.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm sure it's fine.
I forgot I'm heavy now.
I wonder if you could make a spell for that. Couldn't you just make it so wherever you step, just it mends?
That would take an immense amount of magic.
True, and don't need you getting tired just by walking. Sorry, it's just so interesting. I've never seen anything like this, so.
Anyways, Brennan walks over and kind of squats down in front of his own body. I forgot what I looked like after all these years.
Yeah, it was weird for us too.
Well, I mean, you never knew what I looked like, but I understand.
So, like, what do you have like something you want us to do with your body since you decided not to return to it?
I mean, I've been thinking about that. I could
Yeah.
eat it,
Well,
turn it into magic. But I think I'm...
want to know what the taste of human flesh is?
Karak sitting here internally having that struggle again, like, oh no, it is a trend. Robots eat human.
I mean, I feel like it would be more of a reclaiming my essence, but no, I'll probably just go throw it in the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. What are my other options? Bury it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was like, I don't know, somewhere significant to you that you might want it to be.
Not really anywhere that's left anymore.
Well, I mean, kind of depends. You didn't think this thing existed anymore either, but here it is.
That's true. I guess I could
Not go-
take it back to Apud, bury it next to Pharaoh,
True.
but I don't know. That feels weird considering I'm not really dead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I guess eat
Well,
it
you
if
know,
you want
it's
then.
just sort of prepped for if it ever does happen, you know?
Sort of, I don't know.
I
I
have to
was
do
going to say,
something.
like,
I have to do something with it. There's not particularly anywhere cold in Israel to keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't see why burying it would be so weird. I mean, you know, sure, you're the same person inside, but the outside's different. It's like a death of who you used to be, of what you used to be, I guess, and not who you used to be, right? Like,
Not all of us can let go of who we used to be so easily.
yeah,
Man, you've really got a bone to pick with him, huh?
Oh, more so than ever.
it's okay. It's okay.
More so than he's the same as he's always been.
That's what I'm worried about as he picks up the body and just throws it over his shoulder like a bag of grain.
Okay, well maybe like I don't know if you want to carry your own dead body through like the town. That seems like a good way to I
Might
don't
look
know.
bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are they gonna do? Stop me?
It's more the image that it would give for our group as a whole, because we've been walking around town with you all this time, and then you going out with it and suddenly having a dead body on you. It doesn't look like a good picture. Like, from the outside, it looks like something very bad happened, and we all helped.
I mean, technically something very bad did happen and you all helped.
Yeah.
Well, no, we tried to stop most of it. Except for the banishment thing that Elliot did. But we didn't really have
I
like
mean-
a conversation about that, so.
Yeah,
And it was done with good intention, so.
It worked out well for me.
Worked out well for most things, it would seem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
I have an answer to your problem.
To my problem?
Yeah. Lillian's gonna cast invisibility on the body.
Oh,
Well, that'll work.
there we
Not
go.
You know what could be funnier, though, Lulin?
Lillian ends the spell and casts invisibility on him.
There we go.
Oh no.
You're just gonna carry it around like a little puppet?
I mean, I might as well have some fun with it.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
God.
Brennan about
This
to
displeases
weekend
me.
that buries their own corpse.
Lillian's gonna like fashion tie his body to like his appendages, so it looks like there's just a floating walking body.
Yeah, it's like that play, Weekend at Bernstein's.
God damn it. Alright. Have fun.
I intend to.
Do you want me to I was gonna ask if you want me to like turn into like an animal and follow, but
No,
I don't know what.
No, this disembodied voice is coming through the room. I think you should all just, I think you have your own conversations to have.
It's fair.
I'm gonna. You know what?
You
I'm gonna
I
go
guess
take it. I'm gonna go take it through the gate.
well, you know what they say? Go knock him dead.
Somewhat of a Freemason.
What's gonna happen to your corpse if it goes through the gate like you did?
It's a Freemason, free cremation,
Oh, okay. I guess that's fair.
and I get to. And I mean, the proximity will probably let me absorb any of the latent magic that's still in my corpse. So.
Well, good luck with that.
Have fun.
I feel really bad for those guards. They're not getting paid enough to watch this happen.
If they were good students, they'd be getting paid more. As
Not
you watch the
everybody.
door like swing open from like 2 feet away from the hand, as he just walks. Well, like it looks scuffed. This is not how a person looks when they
Yes.
walk. Like the body is hovering a good 2 feet off the ground.
Why do I
Lulu
imagine?
didn't do a good job.
He's a rag doll.
Why do I imagine a messed up version of the Rankin Bass like stop motion?
Yeah, yeah.
As it gets to the street, you like are watching through the open door and you see it go by 2 guards as it waves a hand and you hear hello and you see one of the guards go, "What the fuck?" and trip over his own feet as he tries to back away from it.
Yep, that's gonna go about as well as I think it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And that
No,
leaves
there's a
the
part of me
4 of
that
you in
feels
the
like-
room with the sleeping Miss Dream Shadow.
You know, there was a part of me back when you all first met me that would have thought that this was a very disrespectful way to treat the dead, but I never thought that someone's own soul would treat their own body that way. So I guess I can't really say anything about
If it's your corpse, I guess you can disrespect it as much as you want, you know?
Yeah. That's huh. That
Not
is
really is something that you encounter a lot, I'd say.
That is a moral quandary. That is wow. Ugh. Anyway.
So I guess we gotta wake her up.
You got this.
Oh, thanks. So great.
I'll take care of it. I'm newer though. It might go a bit better.
She hits
How could
hard.
it go better? She doesn't
Brock
know.
just kind of like, nudges their shoulder, just like, excuse me, Miss Dream Shadow, Dream Shadow.
What do you want?
We unfortunately weren't able to explain as much as we had liked by the time you had got here. From what I understand, from what Lulin has been able to do, and from everything going on,
Did he tell you I hit hard?
he did.
Good
And
boy. And roll me a
Lulu,
dex
like-
save.
Dex save, got it.
Lulu lifts his shirt and his chest is like completely bruised.
Okay.
Rock, you narrowly avoid getting bitch slapped. As she turns around and, like, sits on the ground rather than laying down.
I do
Well-
apologize. I don't mean any disrespect. I just, from what I understand, your daughter is safe. They are
Why
stable.
Why am I hearing this from someone I barely know?
because I'm one of the newer ones, and so it
And
dealt.
you think that makes me feel better?
No,
That none of these
If any-
3 can speak for themselves?
it's because they're broken up about this as well,
Oh,
and I would hate to put them through this because
I'm
in the
so
short time I've
immensely
known them-
disappointed that they're also broken up that my daughter's dead.
Mhm.
As she kind of turns her eyes to all of you, and her gaze is steel. What's everyone's reaction as she kind of like stops and holds her gaze on you for a minute?
Look away uncomfortably.
Elliot?
I think Elliot just sort of sighs.
Lulu's gonna like rub his shoulder and like rub his chest. To be fair, I tried to say something, and you took it out on me with your fists. And you told me to shut up, and so I did.
That's true. Let's hear from the other 2.
She died as a warrior. We gave her the option to come back, and she chose not to.
And that the fact that she died as a warrior makes it okay, Elliot?
No.
Why would she choose not to come back?
You'd have to ask her.
Well, I
I
can't
was
really
asking
do
the same
that,
question.
can I?
And now you want me to ask her? What do you want from
I
us?
think you've done enough.
I'm telling you what we know.
How did it happen? What exactly happened?
Rorin.
How?
Brock's just going to sort of gesture to Elliot and Newton and Lulin because he's sort of just been tagging along and he doesn't feel he could do it justice.
Well, Roran showed up at the party and threatened that he was gonna basically destroy our home and all our friends in Apud if we didn't give him one of the artifacts that we were able to recover. And we couldn't do that because giving them to him is as good as letting him destroy the world. So he said, you know, we were condemning our friends to death, and we tried to...
Well, you did do that, didn't you?
No. We didn't condemn anybody to death here. Everybody in this group goes into every fight full well knowing that we're putting our lives on the line. Lyra knew that as well as the rest of us.
That doesn't make it easier.
It
No.
doesn't.
Did you stop him, at least? Was her death
Yes.
for something?
Yes. He's not gone completely, but we saved the people in Apud, freed a lot of souls from a level of torment we didn't really understand. And he's not any more powerful than he was when we fought.
Hmm. She's kind of like just quietly sitting there. Like, it doesn't seem like she really has anything to say. Like, it's kind of, the look on her face is kind of like, she understands the implications. She understands what happened. But
But it
she's
doesn't
just
stop
in
the
the
hurt.
and she's in the process of grieving it.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt important to let you know that they're stable. There's hope. Well, not hope. We shouldn't be saying that.
To
There's a chance.
my knowledge and to what I've seen, the her soul is still connected. And if remind me if I'm correct, it's a red thread,
Mm-hmm.
correct? It's a red thread that's fading, but it's taut, right?
Yes.
Like it goes
Yeah.
a distance and
Yeah,
then
and Lulin explains that. I don't know inherently what I'm looking at this is way out of my expertise, but
Means we've left the door open. Should she change her mind and return, she can.
okay.
Then I'm going to take her home.
That's for the best.
I think you should consider leaving your spellbook with us.
Because Roran would come after his knowledge.
Yes.
Mhm.
And without it, you all are safe from him. With it, Lyra is, you aren't.
She pulls a dark black spell book engraved with purple runes out of the bag and like runs her fingers across it. I've had this spell book for hundreds of years. But if it means that I'll get to see my daughter again, and she just kind of throws it as it slides across the floor to your feet, Newson.
He stoops down and picks it up. Once this is all taken care of, it'll be back in your hands.
Roll me a wisdom save.
Oh boy. I'm so good at those. I'm an excellent wisdom saver.
What'd you get? 14?
14.
No vision for you.
Oh.
You feel like you're about to have a vision, and then you feel like something stops it.
Oh. Like something intervenes. So if I, tried to let it happen, would it?
Roll Arcana.
Oh, another thing I'm really good at. I'm an expert arcananer. Mm-hmm.
You try
7.
you try to push past it, but you can't seem to get past whatever this block is.
Hmm.
Well, are you going to kill him?
Yes.
Good.
Who is him?
Roran.
Good. I'll have my guards come by and retrieve the body later. I have to make preparations to go back to Stipvale.
Mhm.
When you kill him, Newson, she says as she kind of stops next to you, make it hurt. The same way he hurt us.
She just gives a little nod, kind of finding it hard to make complete eye contact, I think.
Well, notably, she's not trying to make eye contact with you.
Oh, I thought
She
okay.
stopped next to you, facing towards the door.
Got it.
And then she just nods and walks out the door.
Before she goes, actually, when she's standing in front of Newson, she's going to pull Lyra's cat coin out and put it in her hand.
What's
this was a special trinket that we got recently. We each got something, and this was what Lyra chose, but it's not a lot, but she was pretty excited to have a companion, and she'll show her how to use it, kind of summon the spirit cat and put it in her hand.
As you give her this spirit cat, she kind of walks over. She places it in Lyra's hand. If it is a spirit, maybe it can be her friend on the other side.
I hope so.
As she turns around and walks out of the room, and anybody who wants to roll me insight.
Okay. Another thing I'm really... Oh, well, not as bad as Karak, you know?
I'm
At
not a
least
very
there's that.
insightful. I'm not a very insightful person.
So Newsnan and Karak, you're not really sure what to make of this, but Lulin and Elliot, you realize that under this kind of face of a grieving mother is a barely contained, almost bubbling rage. As she heads out the door and it closes heavily behind her.
You know, we can't promise to kill him.
We don't have a choice anymore.
Okay.
That's why at some point we gotta go after that god-killing axe, or the ore that's needed to make it. Or at least I will. If you guys don't want to go, I'd understand.
Oh no, I mean, personally, I think it seems like a good idea. If you would have me, I think it would be nice to go. Get get an upper hand, as it were.
Karak, roll me a perception check.
Here we go. That's one of my best. It's not, but
As you kind of are looking around, you catch just for a moment your reflection in one of the windows on the far side of the room, as you just watch your reflection smile.
all right. So what now? What
Well-
what do we do now?
I guess if we want, we can go on a boat tour somewhere. Or, I don't know, fuck it. Let's go to a bar and drink. What do I care anymore?
I mean,
I need to talk to my uncle.
mhm.
As Elliot sort of heads towards the more center of the house.
As you head into your next room, you see your uncle sitting there with a cup of tea floating next to him as he just pages through a large book. Oh, my dear boy, come, sit. Would you like some tea?
Okay. No, don't think I'm really in the mood.
Well, that's quite unlike you, he says as he closes the book with a thump and sets it on the table. What's on your mind?
What do you think's on my mind?
Well, an uncle could hope for marriage, but I feel like that's unlikely.
Yeah, that... Not very, observant, are you? Not like you.
No, I'd presume the death of your friend then.
Yeah. And the continuing of a tyrant that was responsible, and the unfortunate backstory, which makes me empathetic.
Well, it can be beneficial to be empathetic to one's enemies.
You must have paid about as much attention to the war books as I did.
No, I think I read a different kind than you. Being empathetic
Yeah.
to one's enemies allows you to think how they think. Once you think how your enemy thinks, it makes it that much easier to kill them.
the thing. With all of this, doesn't make any sense. Roran could have killed us the first time he met us, or the second. Not the third. Lyra really kind of got rid of him pretty quick there. But anytime after that. And yet he didn't. I
Well-
can't understand why.
What are the rest of you doing while Elliot goes into this room now, this conversation? Are you joining him?
Karak just kind of sits on one of the sofas and it's just like, it's never easy. Never easy.
So, you're...
Elliot would have left the door open, by the way. Not like he's trying to be secretive or restrictive.
Newson, Lulin, what are you doing?
Lula takes out a flask, knocks back a couple of times and tosses it to Newson.
Well, that does seem to be your question, doesn't it? Why would one spare an enemy?
Suppose my father would say something like, the only way to guarantee loss is mercy.
Yeah.
But
I find it unlikely the word mercy would ever cross your father's tongue. But
true.
perhaps he left you alive in the hopes that you would destroy yourselves or aid his plan in some other way.
Yeah, well. Other than him, we have control of the most artifacts. Maybe he just wanted us to pick them up for him.
Using you as a mortal delivery service, so to speak.
Yeah. Then why didn't he grab them? Could have grabbed 3 in one night. Minimal resistance.
Would the resistance have been minimal?
Well, he would have finished us in the building. Suppose Brennan would have been not an insignificant fight, but he doesn't have the power he used to. Well, he does now. He didn't at the time, though.
Oh? What do you mean he does now?
Well, oh, did you not know? The banishment had a different effect than I thought it did. Well, I thought it would bring all of their souls back to their host original bodies. Apparently, they got to choose.
Well, that is interesting. Perhaps if you ever decide to go finish your degree, you could write a thesis on the function of a soul through the function of a soul through banishment.
Yes.
Would
I
be
mean, there's a lot to learn, I'm sure. Countless people to ask. According to Brennan, he still has tangential control over the constructs he used to control.
well, that's a good thing, is it not?
Well, it also reunified the emotion. I'm not entirely sure how the constructs around the city are going to react.
Well,
Brennan described anger and betrayal as the primary emotions while they were all together.
out with one problem, in with another.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine it'll look very good for the throne to have the city's largest military assets fall and within the next day rise under a new master.
Then perhaps you should head off the problem before it becomes one.
What? Talk to them? I kind of want to hear from an elf.
But you're not an elf.
I'm at least half bastard, and I can't imagine that's a distinction they want to make right now.
But your friends aren't. By definition,
true.
the group of you is as ostracized as any of the Warforged have ever been.
We could go talk to them. Well, this has been as informative as most of our conversations are. Appreciate it.
Well, I do hope that is very informative. But
Well, it's pretty informative. I mean, it's not like a library, you know. As Elliot looks around at the library.
oh, my dear boy. Oh, and what of the rest of you? How are you dealing with the burdens of the world in your hands? And as young...
Feels lighter.
I've already...
Knowing that I've done something, at least.
Nephew, there are other people in the room.
Oh?
If you would have spoken up this much in school, perhaps your grades would have been better.
If I'd spoken up this much at school, I would have been dead already.
I find that unlikely.
Fair enough. So Elliot looks towards the rest of the room.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
I believe we were talking about the potential causes for your immortally powerful enemy not executing all of you.
Seems strange. I was just doesn't make sense to me. Still haven't really gotten any answers on that yet.
Yes, that's why we're doing what is called a brainstorm.
Oh god, that would be awful. Just brains falling out of the sky. Why? Is that something that happens here? Oh god.
I
Man
must
literally
enroll.
comes from a plane of firestorms. And
Dagger
you're worried
falls.
about a brainstorm?
Dagger, but you can survive a dagger fall, and you can survive a brainstorm, but not emotionally. Like just the thought of that sounds. Ugh.
I must enroll
Sorry.
you in a class on cultural information.
I would very much appreciate that.
Yes, well,
It's
unfortunately, the college is closed for the time being.
Yeah,
T,
I was. Karak is about to be like, oh, I would love some of that, and then he thinks about all the reflective stuff that's been going on, and he's like, I think I'm okay for now. Is there any sweets or biscuits or something?
oh yes,
Are
I
you
believe.
sure we could make it dwarven if you'd like?
Dwarven?
Elliot sort of flashes a flask.
That might actually help. Clear the worries out a tiny bit.
Newton, Lulin,
Elliot
tea
just-
for either of you? Come sit while we figure out our next step.
Sure.
Little sit down, take a drink of tea, and then just forehead to the table.
Newton, as you sit down, he waves a hand as a teapot floats across the room and pours you a steaming cup of tea. Milk, sugar?
Whiskey?
Sugar, probably.
How,
Maybe I need to develop a sugar habit.
how many cubes as he waves his finger and you see sugar cubes begin floating through the air?
What's like a normal amount? I don't drink tea, really.
Well, I believe Elliot likes 7 or 8 in his tea.
Oh, I don't need to develop that much of a sugar habit. Let's go with like 3.
So 3 is a great amount.
He taps his finger 3 times as you watch 3 of the cubes fall out of the air and into your glass. As he pulls his finger, makes a motion come over here, and one of the cubes floats into his mouth. Oh,
Okay.
I swear, sugar is one of the world's finest inventions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so brainstorming. I'm assuming that's like a thinking session. I hate the fact that my first thought was a come to the white lady moment instead of a come to Jesus moment. Oh, just why would they spare like maybe it has something to do with me? No. They they said they knew me at the party, and that's why I took the potion, but I haven't gotten anything on that yet.
Yes, but this was your first meeting with Rowan, correct?
Apparently not, according to Rorin.
Yes, but amongst the party, so to speak.
I guess so.
No.
Yes. That's not an I guess so, sorry.
And when was the first time that the rest of you met him?
In the circus, I believe it was.
I mean, technically, I guess he was. I mean, he was restricted by Velkin until Velkin died. So yeah, I guess it would have been when he was first released at the circus. Yeah.
And did you make any deals with Belkin that would have prevented Rowan from killing you? Assuming that Velkin was using Roran's magic to bind things.
Not that I can remember. I don't know, Velkin was always so weird about everything.
Yes, I feel fortunate to have never met the man myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly a character.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Roran and Velkin could have made a deal at some point. But that doesn't seem very like Velkin, considering how much he hates gods, to make a deal with one.
Yes, well, hate does typically come from a place of fear. And so do the worst kind of deals.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you're all well aware.
But I'm pretty sure everything Velkin was doing was sort of in the pursuit of preventing what Roran is trying to do now.
Seems a bit generous.
I mean, we have a god trying to destroy our entire plane of existence, and he was locking them all away, so...
Just
I
seems
mean,
like the wrong way to go about it, from my at least.
Oh, it definitely is.
I mean, that's again, that's like the entire city, treating minotaurs awfully. It's like when you treat everyone like, like they're a single person or a group, an entire group off of one thing that you don't even have basis for. It's
Yes, well, humans are typically short-lived. They don't typically think about the long-term effects of their actions in the moment.
don't get too high and mighty there.
My dear boy, that is simply stating a fact.
Well, the elves' long-term effects have always just been war and death.
Yes, but they plan on the scale of centuries rather than the scale of decades.
Yes, well. Did you see Step fail before it fell?
Of course. I've been there several times over the past 100 years.
There is a power to being able to cooperate across generations. The humans have mastered quite well.
I don't disagree. But from what you've told me of this Velkenbara fellow, it doesn't seem like he was much in the league of cooperating with anyone. So although the
No,
humans may have
he
mastered it, he
assumed-
is not.
He assumed that because he would live as long as he wished, he would not need to.
Yes, well, there is a danger to not learning from your mistakes.
Yes, there is.
Mhm.
But all that aside, his actions felt to me more like he was trying to accrue power and be the most powerful being on the plane rather than to protect anyone. If his true goal was to protect the plane, he would have told us as much as he could, as early as he could. I am not convinced he did. He kept us in the dark for so long.
Yeah.
Which bears to the question: Has has your current enemy done the same?
Lied to us?
Yes, kept you in the dark about things.
No, I mean he's been pretty upfront about all of his intentions, so
Which begs the question: what would cause a friend to lie and an enemy to be forthright? Where is the missing piece of the puzzle?
Mhm.
enemy wants us to win, friend doesn't.
But
What happens if we win?
The plane doesn't get destroyed.
what else
But
happens
how-
if you win? Surely,
Yeah,
surely
what
the
else,
stakes.
what else happens? They wouldn't want us to win unless there was some other incentive that they get for us getting what we want. Right?
Surely, if you're the only boundary standing between this Roran and the destruction of the plane, he would simply wait for all of you to die.
It's not like all he would have to do is just wait a long enough time.
So I suppose the question becomes: what leads? Why does he seem to? Why does he seem to, at the same time, have urgency and none at all?
Hmm. I'm drawing a blank.
I mean, there's something pushing him forward here and now.
So I would assume that if you find out what that thing is, you'll be in a better position to stop him. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's easier said than done, isn't it?
Yes. Well, the things most worth doing are rarely easy. I believe I told Elliot that the other night.
And I'd say the last week has been, if I tried to explain what happened, say easier said than done about all the events that have happened so far, so. We've survived a lot. Surely we can figure out this too.
Well, perhaps you should have an easy night. Look at things with fresh eyes in the morning.
I mean, there's not a lot that's easy about being in this city in the first place when you're a Minotaur, so.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere is like having a dagger at your back, so it's not so simple.
Yes, quite hard to relax in a situation such as that.
Mm-hmm.
Could go camping. You guys ever been desert camping?
I've
I've
never
never been
done
in a
that.
desert, so
Ugh.
I haven't gone.
Terrible.
if I
was-
had been in a desert, I think I'd be dead, so
I wouldn't recommend it for the Minotaurs. Your feet are in no way made for traversing the desert.
Oh, right.
True.
Perhaps an exotic getaway then.
Like a. Like a. What are you proposing?
Well, with the Warforged collapse, somebody will have to renegotiate the trade deals with the ships and push of errands. Perhaps we create you some documents saying you're emissaries of the crown and get you out of the city for a few days.
well,
I
we
do have
can't
to
be
be
gone
going
more than
tomorrow
a day, so
Yeah, we have an important meeting, right? With
Well, it's a meeting to talk about dethroning my brother. I should probably be there.
and us not being there would look very.
Well, I'm not
technically
convinced
we
us
weren't
being there would
invited,
look
so
Oh,
Would-
okay. I thought it was the whole thing because we met the brother first. I'm just all kinds of. Today is not a day for me.
Well, do you think it is important that you're there, that it appears that you are?
Appearances
want-
do mean everything in this city.
That's the thing. I don't know if I want to be there. I don't know. I don't even know if me being there will look good or bad. But with your confidence, I will tell you that I am interested in what they proposed. Not necessarily their methodologies, but a voice for the people.
Ah. The meeting is with House Elderothi then.
Yes.
Yes, they approached me for something similar a few months back.
Yeah. I suspect it's just buzzwords, but
If you need...
I don't know for sure.
What words buzz? Well, that one actually. Never mind.
Typically
I
words
just answered-
involving bees.
There we go. I answered my own question, and you answered a question after the fact. It all works out.
If you seek wisdom that's not coming from the elven mind, I could send you to your father.
I would like a conversation with him.
Wait, isn't
Speak your question,
would-
Karak.
isn't I was under the assumption that their father, you know, like right?
that was
You all fought.
stepfather.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, if
Okay.
you weren't aware,
That was-
Elliot is what the noble finery would consider a bastard child.
that's very strange. I feel like it just matters if someone takes care of you. That makes you family. But anyway,
Well, he didn't
Well,
take care of me. So.
Yeah, I
what
was gonna
was it?
say care requires someone to care about you, and
yeah.
that man did not.
But yes, that was my confusion because when you worded it, I had a moment where it sounded like it's like I could send you to their father. It's like, oh, I don't know what we did.
The other step you could take is to begin to strengthen the power of your own house within the city.
Mm-hmm.
You're really
I know
on this
that it's-
marriage thing, huh?
I was referring more to building his own house guard, establishing connections,
Yes.
starting businesses, making it a house in more but name.
It does seem like it might be in poor taste at the particular moment to seek more power.
Perhaps. But if you're going to be the one negotiating in your brother's stead, you will need something to back it.
If you're using
True.
the power that you have to uplift others, wouldn't that be in good taste? Spreading what influence you have to better things, and, you know, the side effect being that you gain more power in doing that. Strength and numbers and all that, but
And, if you're just looking to pick a fight, there's a fair number of places in Push Varens you could do so. I believe you've already been to the Shadow Box.
Yeah. Fight's not really what I'm looking for right now.
I think we've had enough of that over the last day.
Well then, as he stands up, I suppose it is up to the four of you to figure out what you wish to do with your time. Little though it may be. When you figure it out, I will be in the sauna. Simply come let me know. I'll begin the process of assisting you in however I can. As he kind of like waves his hand as he walks out of the room, and the teacup and the teapot follow him.
Okay, Elliot, you're in charge of going to get him once he's in the sauna, because I am not going in there.
That's quite nice. Very steamy. But, okay.
It would be hell on Newson's fur. But
I'd be so frizzy.
we are going to take a 5-minute break right now. So we will see everyone in a bit. We'll be back. So as you all kind of disperse, so to speak, to decide what you want to do, where does everybody go off to think?
Karak sort of waits for some of the
Elliot.
others.
Heads
Hmm?
towards the pool.
The pool. Gonna lay poolside. Oh my god.
Karak kind of like hesitantly like follows behind Elliot because he does want to talk to somebody, and that seems like a good person to talk to because everybody else has got a lot of hurt right now. And it's not that Elliot doesn't. It's more just probably less likely to make a mistake with it with Elliot. You know.
I think if there's like an enclosed, like kind of garden space, Newsom might go hang out there outside for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The being inside all these houses and all these cobbled roads is just unnerving to her all the time, I think.
Okay. Lulin?
I think Lulin's also probably just gonna also just go outside. He's just gonna wander, not necessarily finding. He's just gonna wander to be outside, fresh air, touch grass, eat grass, snack on some grass.
Nugent walking through the garden turns a corner, sees Lulin just bent over, munching grass on his hands and knees.
Just Lulin on his tippy hoof, getting some leaves from a tree.
All right. So Elliot went to the bath or the pool. Karak, did you follow? Didn't you?
I followed to a bit, hanging a bit back just to
Elliot, when you get to the pool, are you like getting in the pool and just floating around?
Yeah.
So Karak, when you finally make it into the pool area, you see the steam rising off the water as Elliot just floats on his back, staring up through the glass ceiling.
place is really nice. You yeah, just I don't know how to start this, so I'm just gonna start it.
Say what you gotta say, Karak.
Mm-hmm. I'll do that. So as you know, or at least as I hope Lulin told everybody, I took my memory potion last night, and the effects were did not go as expected. I haven't gotten everything.
Remember?
Flashes here and there, but
What do you remember?
just a lot of waiting around paths waiting for moments to strike on things, and I remember being around
to strike.
Yes,
Did you
the
feel fear or pride?
Is it possible to feel both?
Well, yes, of course.
I'm not sure how to word it, because I don't have. You would think that getting the memories back would be just like that, like habit, but they're not, and I'm getting concerned about what some of them might mean. I don't really know, and there's been some concerning things that I've been seeing as Karak kind of just like looks in the water and then averts his gaze from his own reflection for a bit.
What have you been
Just-
seeing?
Someone that I could be, and someone I don't want to be, but someone I feel like I have to be.
Interesting. You know, everyone picks who they are. It's not always an easy path, but I think memories shape who we can be, but ultimately the decision is up to you.
Doesn't feel like it sometimes. Feels like if
It's
I...
not easy.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I want to make sure everybody's okay and safe and all that, and I don't know.
Give me an example.
During our fight with Roran, if I had taken my memory potion earlier, maybe I would have had enough time to learn more about them.
Well,
Maybe Lyra would still...
hypotheticals aren't that helpful. What has the memory potion done to make you feel like you're being pushed into being someone you don't want to be?
Just I'm looking at who I used to be, and I would look at who I am now, and I don't feel strong enough. I feel like I was stronger back then, but I don't like the person. I don't like that everything that comes with that feeling.
You know,
Strength
one of the
is...
first things that you learn as a mage
Mhm.
is that Arcana is finite.
Hmm.
We don't create it when we cast a spell. We find it. It's in the weave, and we redirect.
Mm-hmm.
I would reckon power is a similar instrument. I've seen many people who... Let's take Roran, for example.
Mm-hmm.
He has a great control over his arcana,
Mm-hmm.
but he's childlike. His strategy is confusing. I don't know if it's genius or premature yet, but
Mm-hmm.
your power, Karak.
Mm-hmm. It's... I'm sure as time goes on, it'll make more sense to me, but it's like clearing away brush and getting a bit more knowledge about what's going on, about what the land layout is like, the different... I'm not able to see it all yet. And I'm
Yeah.
worried. I'm just worried, I guess. I want to make this hunt against Roran was sanctioned by the White Lady, and
You know, there are many elven warriors who saw fear as nothing but a weakness. It's why the Warforged are what they are.
mm-hmm.
They saw it as...
Karak kind of looks at his reflection after you say that, just like thinking about the stuff that has been said.
They think that if they could remove the fear, the warrior gets to be more perfect. But I think they're wrong on that count. Fear is what makes you careful. It's what makes you check every corner. It's what makes the ambush successful. There's a subtlety to
Balance.
Fear is good, Karak. Knowledge is better.
I think I can agree with that. Thank
Should we
you.
take a second and
Mm-hmm.
discuss one of the things you're fearful of. Perhaps we
Yes.
can plan a way to make it less dangerous.
I was a hunter at heart, and as you know, I did a lot of hunting and such, and it was good. I was good at it, and I don't know is it possible to be too good at something like that? Like after a
Okay.
while, just
It depends on the part. Which part were you too good at? The disconnection? The loss of
guess.
empathy?
I guess that's a good way to put it. I
I think that is a curse that many warriors face. I don't know
I
how to fix it.
I enjoy who I am. Who I am right now. In the week that I've been with this party, I've gone through so many different changes, and I like who I am. And I worry that that disconnection might come back, and I won't be. I worry that during this hunt against Rorin, that I might get a bit too good at disconnecting again. Everybody seems to everyone who we've gotten to meet that you all seem to trust, almost every single one of them doesn't trust me, and I don't understand why. Of course, the potion didn't give me anything on that. Would have been nice to know why. Brennan definitely still don't know what I still don't know what I did to them, apparently. Or, and I guess not them. I don't know.
It's possible you've done battle with them in the past.
I would hate that. Brennan seems like a wonderful person.
Yes, well. I think that there are reasons warriors of opposing sides could re-meet up. I think that there have been a number of wars where both sides, warriors, were good people. The leaders took advantage. Perhaps, Karak, if you're worried about losing empathy, take note of the effects you have on other people, negative and positive, and analyze them to see if they were necessary later.
I think I'll do that. Thank you, Elliot. I'm still deciding if I should tell everyone else in the party, but it's just, I don't know. It felt easier to talk to you about this kind of thing.
That's fair. Your beliefs have been in no small part an inspiration to what I hold true.
Oh. Well, I find that rather sweet. I will say I have one last thing that I've been meaning to do. It's Karak sort of takes off his necklace that he got from Lulin. There's a couple different changes and carvings on it from last time. Lulin returned this to me, and I felt like it's a good idea to they want me to give it to someone else in the party, give them a bit more of an edge in battle as during the hunt and all that. And well, don't know. The new say has a couple new tricks up its sleeve. Maybe it can help hold me accountable if you ever think that I'm going a bit too far in this. If I ever disconnect too much. As Croc kind of just sets it down next to the pool. Used to have a mentor who had one like it.
I'll hold it close.
Wonderful.
Appreciate it.
Wonderful. If you ever need me or whatever, just think about that and think about where I might be, and I'm sure I'm sure things will work out. Thank you so much for the advice, and I think I'm going to go to bed early. Maybe if I sleep for a bit longer, I'll get some more memories. see what I'm dealing with.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
My ears will always be open, but for the record,
Mm-hmm.
Nuzin and Lulin can be very understanding.
I know. Lulin is a bit... I don't know what to think. And I already hid a fair bit of this from Nuzin, and I'm not sure how to bring up the fact that I did. It wasn't intentional, just wasn't sure if I could tell them.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely the more intimidating of the group.
I've seen when you see someone kill one of the gods that people from your world worshipped and you could have been smited by so many times. It definitely shifts some of that. Anyway, I'll leave you to your swim. I hope you enjoy your night. And Skrok sort of gets up and takes a last look at the water in his reflection as he takes his leave.
Fear of God? No. Fear of Lulin.
Fear of Nuzin.
Fair.
Nuzin's the one that killed them.
Incorrect.
Lyra
was.
was the
Oh
one
yeah,
that
Lyra
killed
was
them.
the
Yeah.
one.
Because Lyra
Lyra's the one
exploded
that-
his fucking
Oh
mind.
right, I
Yeah.
forgot about that. To be fair, you also tanked a bunch of hits from them, so I think that's also
2 of you got thrown off a cliff.
yeah.
As the night kind of draws to a close and everybody goes to bed, you wake up later in the morning to find, time passes the night before as everybody's kind of alone with their thoughts, and by the time everybody goes to bed, it is late into the night, almost morning. So when you all wake up, the time to leave for the meeting is almost upon you. Elliot, do you remember where you have to go? Did you write it down?
The silence is
Sorry,
deafening.
I forgot I was muted.
No.
Yeah, he had it was written down on a piece of paper for him. He has it.
Yes. Did
Yeah,
you...
you did. You snatched it out of your book specifically when you gave it to me.
Exactly.
Yes, and
So I assume I have my book back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I think you gave it to me to look. We were looking for the notes about the golem. I think you just
Oh,
gave
yeah,
it to
that's
me to
right.
look through. It wasn't like I took it from you.
I do remember giving it to you. I just forgotten what it was. Yeah, no, he has it written down. Right there on the piece of paper.
Yeah.
did you write it down, though, is my question.
Real life Isaac?
Yes.
No, my character has it on a piece of paper.
Okay. So the meeting is being held at a tavern called the Rusty Crown,
Okay.
which, might be a little spot on, but
Yeah. Little too
the
spot on.
nobles,
On the nose.
the nobles in Zraya aren't known for their subtlety.
It's true.
As I'm assuming you all prepare to head out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Dragon ass, as usual.
Karak once again sleeping in too late to see the sunrise.
Rock, you could
Oh,
have
no.
woken up for the sunrise if you wanted to.
Nah. I think it's
It's
better
becoming
if
a habit.
I think it's better if it starts to get a bit lost every now and then.
As you all make your way, well, do you guys want to have any conversations before you leave, or do we just want to get straight to the meeting?
I don't think so.
I don't have any.
I would like to roll a perception check to see if Elliot is already wearing the necklace or not. If that's okay.
I don't think you'll have to roll a perception check. Are you wearing the necklace?
Yeah.
Okay. No perception check necessary.
Perfect.
Is this a weapons or no weapons kind of meeting?
I mean, to be fair, most of us are living weapons at this point, so
I vote weapons meeting.
Okay, cool.
I
It
like your
shows-
vote.
it shows your
Music.
it shows your strength.
Elliot changes his attire in 0 ways. No, that's not true. He puts a single ring on his right hand.
Ooh.
Well, it's the difference between me
is
carrying
my
Hugh
fighting
or
ring.
not carrying Hugh, so.
Just remember, I can still divine smite with my fist.
Alright, well, okay. Some of us have to depend on our weapons, okay?
To be
My
fair,
magic doesn't extend that far.
Divine
Little-
fist fight.
Lulu like playfully like punches your arm.
The holy horror.
As you
Yeah,
all make your
punches
way,
count as bludgeoning damage,
Yes.
Yeah.
so that did not hurt.
No, it only doesn't hurt me if I'm raging.
Never mind then.
The neutralizing bludgeoning is only when I'm raging.
That's
Ah.
the radiance will.
I couldn't.
Yes.
I couldn't make Newson fully invincible.
Yeah, if I was fully invincible of bludgeoning damage, it would be a little bit much.
Yeah, you'd have to add like a what's the opposite of an immunity?
Vulnerability.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say allergy, and I'm like, that's not right.
No, what
I'm
he did
allergic
was
to slashing damage.
I'm immune to bludgeoning, but I'm really allergic to piercing. Damn, it's a piercing season already? I feel like I'm dying over here.
You were saying, Sky?
Oh, what you did was you gave me resistance to all bludgeoning damage when I'm raging, and then trained me to choose when I rage carefully so that I don't rage just at the beginning of every fight.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Yes, I did.
You were like, here's a training arc. Be more thoughtful.
As you all make your way through the city, you head towards the docks and the harbors that House Ailerothi has control of. And eventually, nestled within the heart of the Ailerothi territory, you find the tavern known as the Rusty Crown. It's not that nice. Not somewhere you would expect nobles to be, which kind of seems to be the point. The tavern has a weathered wooden facade to it, has a faded sign bearing the image of a tarnished crown with some of the points of the crown missing. But as you approach, the scent of hearty stews and spiced ales wafts through the air, mingling with laughter and chatter from the patrons within. As you enter, you're greeted by the warm glow of lanterns that are casting flickering shadows across the worn wooden floorboards. The interior of the tavern itself is dimly lit with cozy alcoves tucked away into the corners, providing a sense of quiet amidst the bustling crowd. The crowd itself seems to be filled with a large number of elves that look relatively strong, and roll me They all look relatively similar, but roll me insight if you want to find out why.
All right.
So good. Oh, I'll let you know.
I'm totally insightful. I'm not.
Where did this internet window go? It's gone.
It's gone
Eventually.
forever.
Eventually, I'll speak it into existence.
It's alright, I have a pen.
I'll keep describing while I wait on those. The main hall boasts sturdy oak tables and mismatched chairs, worn smooth by years of use. Above the bar, shelves lined with dusty bottles of various spirits and ale bear witness to the tavern's history. A large hearth dominates one wall, its flames crackling, offering both warmth and ambiance to the room. At the heart of the tavern, a raised platform serves as a makeshift stage where musicians and performers are entertaining the crowd with lively tunes and colorful tales. The air resonates with the melody of fizzles and the rhythmic beat of drums, inviting some patrons to lose themselves to the revelry. And Newson and Elliot, you, as you're trying to piece together why all of these male elves seem similar, you realize it's because all of their hair is cut to the kind of military standard. These are all, although out of uniform, house guards. And you see more than one glistening knife and sheathed sword on their hips.
I'm glad that we decided this was an axe kind of meeting.
As you all enter the tavern, there's kind of a record scratch as the minotaurs come through the doorway. But very quickly, very quickly, everything kind of returns to normal as you see the familiar form, Elliot, of Nimue Elarothi moving through the crowd towards you. Lord Burning Oak, I'm so happy you could make it.
Right, yes, of course.
The bar is open for the evening, so whatever you or your friends want, we'll send someone to come gather you for the meeting itself in a bit. Will your friends be attending as well, or?
Yes, of course, if that's okay.
Of course it is.
Oppose, but perfect.
In the meantime, feel free to have a drink. We're waiting on a few arrivals still. And then we will, well, I can't say too much, obviously.
Of course not.
As she kind of drifts off, as you hear the door open behind you again, she goes to greet the next person who comes in. You all are free to grab a drink if you want to, until this meeting begins, but it shouldn't be long.
Well, do you prefer to do business intoxicated or sober?
They never said the drink had to be alcoholic.
I wouldn't threaten that upon you, of course.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said I'm going to be sober, but I wouldn't threaten that upon you, of course.
No, I think you know, if I have to use the axe, I'd rather be sober enough to handle it, but...
Luna's gonna have a drink. Doesn't matter. I can't get drunk. And if it's poisoned, I'm immune to poisoned. Luna's gonna have a good time.
God, imagine drinking for the taste.
I think I'll probably just have a juice or something like that. It's a bit too early to be drinking for me. I feel like that's more of a nighttime activity.
Karak and Lulin,
Be down and
as you make your way to the bar through the crowd, a half-elf bartender kind of approaches, looks at you both. What can I get you?
Juice of some kind would be nice.
So you want a wine, or?
No, I'd rather not be intoxicated this early.
I'll take a wine. Prefer your special. Your favorite.
Oh. Alright then. Seems like we'll get you a, how does a silver on thread sound?
Sure. Never had it before.
And I guess I'll find you a juice.
It can also just anything non-alcoholic, really.
Yeah, you're aware
I'd prefer to save that.
You're aware you're in a
end.
bar, right?
Yes, but it's also very early.
Afraid you're not going to be able to walk home.
Oh yes, this one here already knows I can't handle the spirits that well.
Lulu like pat her back. We'll get you there.
Eventually, I gotta build up a tolerance.
As he delivers the two of you your drinks, Lulin a nice wine in a kind of silvered glass, and Karak what seems to be some sort of cactus juice.
Oh, what?
It'll quench ya.
Newson and Elliot, what are the two of you doing while they go to the bar? You kind of just making your way through the crowd?
Probably
Yeah,
just
sure.
kind of observing, I think. Yeah.
Alright.
Find a booth, perhaps.
Getting the vibe of the crowd.
Alright. As you head towards a booth to find a spot to stop and observe, both of you roll me a d8.
A D8.
A
Yeah.
d8.
Ooh.
A date.
That's not a perception check. That's rude.
That's oh, we both rolled ones. We're so in sync.
Winning.
Now
As
it's time for the perception checks at disadvantage.
as you're heading to this booth, you overhear a younger voice, and Elliot, you would recognize you recognize that one of the speakers you're talking to is Fenris Dwynarthen, the youngest member of the Dwynarthen family. And you don't recognize who he's talking to, but they're wearing a captain's uniform. They're from some sort of elven trade ship. And you both kind of pick up words as you go by. They're saying something about the changing times and opportunity for advancement. As you make your way over to your booth, as your two companions return and join you, drinks in hand. And Karak and Lulin, both of you roll me a d8 as you're making your way through the crowd.
Got it.
Karak, as you're making your way through the crowd, I actually am going to need you to roll me a perception check.
Oh, that's fun.
Lulin,
Fresh.
as
That's
you're
my
making your way
last
through the
name.
crowd, you see a crumpled piece of paper laying on the ground. Do you want to reroll, Karak?
Hello.
How many rerolls do we have right now? 20?
Enough.
I'd rather not be the one that sends us down below 20, so I'll stick with that.
God, this is like giving you guys health potions in a video game. You never want to use them. You want to save them for when it's important, but when it's important, you can't use them.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because what if there's another important moment later?
What if it's more important?
Sometimes it's hard to know what's important and what's not.
Yeah.
I literally never use consumables in video games. It's just that, like,
Me, as a
Oh.
person who's done infinite amounts of Pokemon Nuzlocke, potions are
that means nothing to
important.
me.
You use the potion, enemy uses potion, you bastard.
Lulin, you find a note on the ground. And it's in Elvish, so you can't read it. But
Yeah,
you pocket
yeah.
it and head towards the table.
Yeah. Whenever Lulu comes to the table, what was the wine again? It was like a red Aramosian.
It's a
Something.
red one.
The red one. Yeah.
You said Elven words, and me, Brando, doesn't understand. You
I
said
was
English
like-
words.
That was
But-
me asking for the all the elven house names because I
Yeah.
could not keep them in my brain.
what the gnomes are to PT are the elves to me.
Mm.
Oh, you hate elves?
They're not my favorite. They're my least favorite. I don't hate them.
Oh, well then they're not what gnomes are to me because I hate gnomes.
Well, I mean, elves are at the very bottom,
Get them elves.
next to humans.
Damn.
Boring. Boring humans.
All right.
Basic.
So you make your way over to the table and you sit down with this note stuffed in your pocket.
Yeah, Lulu's gonna just pull up the note, hand it to Elliot. I found a thing. We didn't get very far in my Elvish classes. As a matter of fact, I don't think we had one. So
I didn't know you all couldn't read Elvish. Well, and Lulin couldn't read Elvish. I don't know about
no,
Lulin, but
I can only read Minotaur and Common.
Common. Yeah, me too.
Lulin goes up for a high five.
There's a kind of there's like a semi enthusiasm. She can't help but.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. I actually don't really recall where I learned it or how I learned it now that I think about it. Huh. Ah, well. Ugh.
So you giving this note to Karak or Elliot?
Oh, Elliot.
What do the notes say?
Elliot, as you look over this note, upon closer inspection, it appears to be hastily written in a hurried hand, and the ink on the note is still slightly wet, but it bears the unmistakable seal of House Gallendale. The words scrawled across the parchment are as follows. The time for action approaches swiftly. We must be ready to move at a moment's notice. Prepare the forces and ensure that every detail is attended to. Our success hinges upon our readiness and resolve. Beware my brother's meddling. His loyalty wavers and he may prove to be a problem if left unchecked. At the bottom of the note, it is signed Lyra Gallendale.
Noted.
It's a good one.
Sharing this with the party?
Well, yeah, no, he would tell them.
Here, let me,
Oh, it's sure to be a fun evening then.
Oh, well then.
I'll put this in
not
all of your
well.
journals.
They didn't even write it in a code. They just wrote it in normal Elvish. Like anybody here could read that.
Maybe it was for someone who couldn't. Maybe they didn't. The person they don't want reading it doesn't know Elvish.
I would
they-
assume the brother can read Elvish.
Well, yes, but perhaps I'm trying to give solutions.
Save entry, show players. There you go.
Nice.
Yay.
Yeah.
It's Lyra, but spelled with an I instead of a
Evil.
Y.
Evil Lyra.
Evil Lyra.
It's just Lyra with like a
Listen,
card.
not all of your names are gonna be uncommon.
Well, of course not. Everyone knows common.
Listen here, you little shit.
They couldn't possibly be uncommon.
Maybe
That's not. That's actually what the thieves' cant is. It's uncommon,
uncommon.
instead of common.
uncommon.
Technically is undercommon.
That's not uncommon though. That's
No.
undercommon.
Technically, if you get rid of the dir, it is uncommon.
But you can't get rid of the dir because that means something completely different.
No. See, it's only dir if you're another thief because it's like dir. That's what it means. You doink. and then for everybody else, it's uncommon because they don't get that. They don't get that interaction.
Yes, guy. I thought you were in the know.
Wow. I can't believe this.
As you are sitting at this table, eventually a half-elf in the Ailerothi colored clothing, but with no direct symbols on it, comes over to the table. If you could all follow me.
Oh, all of us. Okay.
Well, Lord Burning Oak did say you would all be attending.
That is fair. That is fair. Sorry, I'm not used to being invited to things.
Yes, well. If you'll all follow me.
Our drinks are allowed, or do I have to finish it here?
Oh,
that's
if you do not wish to finish your drink, you are more than welcome to bring it, or drinks will be provided.
Okay, I didn't know the situation. Thank you. I appreciate it.
As he leads you all into the back room of the bar, which you've seen several people disappear into already, he walks over to a shelf and pulls on one of the bottles as it slides out of the way, revealing a staircase up to the second level. If you'll all just head through here, the meeting should begin shortly.
Fancy.
Of course.
As you head up the stairs into what seems to be a private bar, you see that the room is full of naval and military captains from the Elven trading fleet, as well as the Gallandel military forces, as well as several of the younger nobles. Notably, Fenris Dwenarthen is here, Roland Alarian, Brenar Phalar, Lorindar Aurelian, Alandor Silverenth, and his sister Lya Silverenth. As well as Lyra Gallandel, who seems to be sitting in the back surrounded by officers. As the leader of the Ailerothi family, Valinor Ailerothi, walks around the room and kind of takes notice of everyone who's here. He heads up to a small platform and taps his glass as everyone turns their attention to him. Thank you all for being here, he says as he has a kind of rugged, stern expression on his face. He rubs a hand through his short salt and pepper hair as he kind of straightens the uniform he's wearing. We are honored to have all of you here. Thank you to our new friend, as he kind of holds out a hand towards your table and everyone in the room turns to look at you. Lord Burning Oak, if you have anything to say before we begin.
I have no prepared statements.
Of course. He kind of taps his fingers as he kind of like narrows his eyes at you. Well.
Wait, out of character. Wasn't expected for him to say something.
It was not.
That.
It was not expected for him to say something. Well.
Is there something you were expecting?
No. I just didn't know if you'd like to introduce yourself in your house, being new to the city and all.
Well, I think many of those who here are aware I'm Elliot Burning Oak. I was just recently recognized as a new house. These are my honorary members of the house. They helped win the war.
At that, you hear some grumbling from a couple of the people in Gallandel uniforms.
Using glares.
This is Newsom, Lulin, and Brock.
Lula raises his glass.
I mean, Croc's just gonna let it slide because even though he wasn't part of that war, he's like, I don't think I should be interrupting right now.
We are here to hopefully push for peaceful times for the half-elves and the downtrodden of this city. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your words, Lord Burning Oak. Esteemed guests, commanders of the military and the naval fleets, thank you for joining us. As I'm sure we all know, there are winds of change blowing fiercely across our fair city. And in these turbulent times, we must stand unwavering in our commitment to the principles of our people. For centuries, as I'm sure many of you know, House Ailerothi has stood as a bastion of this city's strength and resilience. It was House Ailerothi who took... Oh God, I forgot the name!
Exactly.
Zoit?
Fuck the elves.
Zorea?
This is why they're at the bottom of my list.
A pood?
Nope, just stand by.
Standing, buying.
As you know, it was House
not.
Ailerothi that took Abila in the early days of the war with the Minotaurs. And we have always put ourselves in a position where we are able to secure what is best for the elven people. Yet, it is too late now to bask in the glory of our past victories, as we must be vigilant of the trepidations that envelop our dear city. And you're kind of getting the feeling, Elliot, that this was not the speech he prepared initially. It is incumbent upon us as leaders of the great houses and heirs to the great houses to stand firm against the tide of corruption and deceit that is taking root within our city. The power of the throne is weaker than it has ever been since the untimely passing of the Chancellor. And there are those within the city who would
I
seek...
think Elliot sort of chuckles at this untimely passing.
There are those within the city who seek to benefit from the chaos that is wrought about us. As you know, House Ailerothi has controlled the trade throughout the city during the harshness of the spell plague that has been wrought upon us. And House Gallandel, our esteemed allies, have held the line against the Warforged beyond our gates, preventing the spell plague from getting into the city. And in all this time, our king, our chancellor, if you could call him that, has done nothing but sit by idly as the people of our city suffer. I thank you all for being here. I know it is dangerous to be caught in such circumstances, but we are here to discuss not our past, but our future. Well, we do not wish for a violent upheaval, and roll perception, whoever wants to.
Okay, percepting. Not good.
Watch this.
Damn! Okay.
Damn! What a call
You really
out!
said watch this. I'm
Watch
gonna see
this.
it all.
What a call out!
Elliot,
Dang.
as
I'll
he
just
says
look
that he doesn't wish for a violent upheaval, you see a lot of the younger nobles in the room tense as if they'd never truly considered that to be an option. But the soldiers and the sailors in the room almost seem to ignore the phrase. I don't know if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, they're
sort of acting like
desensitized.
not desensitized, but they're all act like I don't know how to phrase this perfectly. The nat 20 threw me off here a little bit. They're acting like that sentence in the grander scheme of things doesn't really mean anything, if that makes sense. Which kind of leads you to the
Violent.
assumption that a violent upheaval has absolutely been discussed behind closed doors.
Yeah.
It is incumbent upon us as leaders and stewards of this city to stand firm and to be careful. We must forge alliances if we are to take the city peacefully, and House Elarothi has already taken steps to secure the votes of several minor houses for the upcoming council decision. But let us not be swayed tonight by our fears or our doubts. For my friends, we are the noble blood that gives this city its life. Together, whatever comes, we shall weather the storm, and Zreya will emerge stronger and more resolute than ever before. I urge you, those who may still be on the fence, colleagues, honored guests, join us in House Tavernar in the cause of taking our city back and putting it into the hands of elves who are capable of guiding it forward. Together, we will write the next chapter of our long and storied history, guided by the principles of honor and unity. For us, for our city, and for the future of all who call this land their home, let us rise regardless of what challenges lie ahead. Thank you. As the crowd begins clapping, and some of them cheer as kind of drinks are passed out and they begin talking amongst themselves. But it doesn't seem like everybody is being very careful about what they say. Like, you hear some talks of upcoming plans and people talking about sudden changes in fortune and seizing control of key assets, supporting the cause, ensuring a smooth transition of power. But you're all sitting in a booth, so unless you get around and talk to some people, you may never know the full story. Unless you think you know enough already.
I think Newson's
Well,
probably
Elliot's
gonna
obviously-
look to Elliot to see what he wants to do.
Same.
It's a great question. I feel like Elliot would make speech, but real life Isaac knows that's a bad idea.
Real life Isaac did not prepare said speech.
True. I have notes from before. Oh no, I threw that paper away.
Oh no!
Oh, classic blunder.
Ugh, a classic blunder.
Give speech anyways. Wing it.
You got
All right,
this.
we winging it.
Yeah, really get into them being like, elves should rule this city. Really give the half-elf
Well, yeah, that's basically
perspective.
the whole
Yeah.
of it, I think.
Exactly.
I think Elliot would pipe up and be a toast to Zorayan unity.
Get his ass.
To those who fight and die. To those who build. To those who create. But most of all, to those who are willing to set aside their power-gripping needs for a peaceful transition of power.
As you say that, the elves in the room, most of them raise their glasses, including, notably, the leader of House Elarothi. What's his name? Valinor raises his glass to you, but you notice that in the corner, surrounded by her commanders, God damn, I have too many notes open.
You're wrecked.
Too many fucking
I only
elves.
have-
Lyra
Many elves and
Gallandel, as you're giving your toast and everybody else raises their glasses, sets hers back down on the table and is just staring coldly at you from across the room.
Behind you,
All right,
Lulu
guys.
raises his glass as you give the speech.
Karak raises his as well.
Newsom raises hers but glares at Lyra Gallandel.
Lilith smiles at Lyra
We all,
Galadale.
we're all standing behind this speech.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I gotta support the homie.
Always.
The homie.
Newsom's gotta
course.
exert her scary dog privilege a little bit.
Yeah, Brennan's been doing that for a while now. It's time for you to do it again.
As everybody downs their drinks, several of the naval captains throughout the room and several of the commanders from House Gallandel very subtly, but you all catch it because you're already on edge and looking for things that are out of the ordinary, pour their drinks onto the ground, which, Elliot, since you're giving the speech, you probably don't notice, but if the party brings it up to you, you would know that pouring a drink onto the ground is like a massive sign of disrespect.
So, I did send you a thing, PT, because I need to make sure this wasn't like a change that was intentional or whatever. Because there is one last thing that I want to make sure I have the ability to use.
The teleportation one?
No, well, technically that is
The
one, but
telepathic one?
at the bottom of it, it says you can.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can communicate, and I think Karak is just gonna sort of use that telepathy that his pact of the his bond of the talisman gives him with Elliot to sort of draw his attention to the spilled drinks. I'll also just put that on the actual thing real quick so that way other people can
Yeah.
see it.
I think in the telepathic link, he'll just respond, there are those who will always pick war. You can't stop that.
Mm-hmm.
We can kick their asses for doing it publicly, though.
That's the best part.
Well, to be clear, the telepathic link is only between
Yeah.
Elliot and Karak.
I know,
Yeah.
that was out of character.
Oh,
Karak and
Speaking
Elliot now. That also probably freaked out Elliot now that I think about it.
do you know how
There's I
do you know
think
how
he's-
used to having people
Yeah.
talk in his head Elliot is?
True.
Unfortunate.
It's like,
Everybody's
a
in
new-
this place.
Oh, a new but old voice. How did you get in there?
Quick tour while you're here. Avoid the cave. The house is pretty alright. If you want any dried meats, they're over in the woods.
Got
Good
it.
talk.
Got it. Wow, we have a lot more in common than I thought we did. Storing meat in the woods.
Yeah, good place to try.
Hmm.
And I do think Elliot would go over to sort of see if there is a seat at Lyra Gallendale's table.
As you make your way over, she kind of waves a hand, and one of the commanders stands up while you sit down. Are the rest of you following?
Yes.
I think so.
As the rest of you follow, while Elliot sits down, you notice that hands move to hilts as you approach. Lord Burning Oak.
Madame Gallendale.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
I was just wondering what would push you to this revolution you seem to desire.
Well, nobody can deny after the war that the people's faith in House Gallendale to support their interests is weakened.
Yes?
I merely look to strengthen it again.
With force?
With whatever is necessary.
Those who fight for you. Who are they? Are
Simply
they
the guards of the
nobles?
house, those trained in our academies.
So they're my people, the half-elves, the downtrodden.
Oh, not all of them. Most of the officers are in my camp. After all, they've been well conditioned to support elven needs. And what the
What
elves
does
need
Elliot
now
read
is
into this well-conditioned sentence?
roll
Like
insight.
the well-conditioned part.
Newsin, roll insight at advantage.
Oh,
I would
okay.
also like to roll insight.
You can roll it normally.
I might as well, since we're here.
Are you okay? Can I? I'm
Hey,
gonna
twinsies.
re-roll mine.
Twins.
You can reroll.
It's a little better at least. My God.
1 and a 15.
A 1 and a 15.
Elliot, you are aware that whatever she's saying has a much darker connotation to it. Although you can't think of the exact specifics. Newsin, you've heard
Doesn't
that
take-
phrase well conditioned before.
Yep.
And I think you know where.
Yep.
So I don't need to tell you.
Yeah.
But I should be asking you. I mean, your brother sits the throne. What drives you towards revolution?
The people. Those you condition.
Oh,
I don't imagine they deserve it.
no, no. I think that we're thinking of very different people.
Somehow I doubt it. Do you know what happens to a soul when you push it to the edge?
It's like any good weapon. It grows stronger or it breaks.
No. Just makes it more evil. Strength's a symptom of a disease.
And you would say that you're not sick?
I'm very sick, but I'd fight for a world where those don't have to be.
And yet you don't show the symptom.
What do you mean I don't show the symptom? Do you not think I hold strength?
I mean, you are strong as an individual, but in any
I'm
meaningful
strong as a
capacity.
team.
Oh, your friends are surely strong. But are you?
We are strong because we are in
Are-
unity.
What kind of strength it must take to show up to a meeting to stand against your own brother so soon after signing away your claim to the throne?
I had no claim to the throne, and I have no desire to sit on that throne.
And yet here you are.
I was worried that this meeting would be populated by power brokers, the greedy, and those who would wish death and destruction upon this very city out of the off chance they would gain any power at all. And the first person I sit down to talk to, it seems to be the case. I'm not here to speak power for myself. I'm here to broker power for those who could not be at this meeting, because they don't share your blood.
Oh, there's plenty here who don't share noble blood. After all, my blood holds the same power as yours. If you were so strong in your convictions, perhaps you never should have signed your papers.
To what end?
At least I know what my convictions are.
I know what my convictions are.
And what are they?
I fight for those who cannot fight for themselves.
House Gallandel's done the same for centuries. What makes you think you're special?
You force people into servitude, into fighting for those who sit up on these thrones. People who, quite frankly, could fight for themselves. Are those really those who you think are defenseless? That need justice? Don't think I don't know that you force the poor into your armies.
We don't force the poor into our armies.
I was in Apud, I know. I saw the draft come through.
Oh. And yet, were you poor? Or were you a noble being called to defend your city? Or were you one of the
Noble.
countless other mages in Apud, made more powerful by elven teaching, being called to return the cost?
The right of the warrior should never be forced onto anyone.
And for the thousands of people who remained in the city living their lives while the war was fought, it wasn't. Until the bastard son of a king turned against his people.
And what is that supposed to mean? Turned against his people. I brought ends to the bloodshed. I saved countless warriors on both sides, under the tree and in the battlefield.
And yet the bloodshed.
Tell me how I'm wrong.
And yet the
Tell me how I turned on them.
And yet the bloodshed would have ended all the same if you'd died in that field instead of your father.
Would it have? Would his reach not have turned to the next great cities? Would it not have turned to Stipvale? Perhaps the Ganassi cities?
What great cities are left? Stipvale is gone. The Ganassi have fallen to war amongst themselves.
There are cities on this plain you know nothing about. And I am fearful for you to even be aware of them.
Then why bring them up in the first place?
As a point to elven greed. You see something and you think you must own it, control it.
I see you
Is that
never
really
paid
your
attention
place?
in your lessons. You don't know why we went to war in the first place. Or did you forget that while you lived a luxurious life at the college, throwing away the very title that you were blessed to receive, the people of our city were starving?
Blessed to receive, I was a bastard.
And
My
yet,
father would have rather seen me die than sit on any throne.
and yet, he offered you the highest education, sent you to the most prestigious college.
Yeah. I can't imagine that he was very happy about it.
And yet he did it all the same. Because at the end of
My
the
mother
day,
made
you
that
were
happen,
still a noble.
not him. And so it's my right to have that, but no one else. No one but this blood.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
Then
that
what are you saying?
that
That because I have seen both worlds, I cannot argue for one?
No, no, no. That you chose both worlds. So you don't get to decide the fate of ours. The one that you turned away from. My father feels the same. But we're open to the possibility of a peaceful transition.
I hope so.
As long as your brother doesn't make things more difficult than they need to be.
It's funny. With the fall of the constructs, bit of a boom for your power.
A boon to
Your house.
ours. The constructs were under the
Is it
rule
not?
of House Felkir. Gallandale
Well,
has
of
stood
course.
an army without constructs for centuries before they came to be. A change of 30
But you were
years means
preoccupied until 2 days ago, defending the city from those very constructs. And now, you're free to use your army to leverage power once again. It's funny how the stability of our city decreased when the siege ended.
isn't it?
Don't you think?
Well, I can't speak for the stability of power. Unless you know
But
something I don't.
You seem to anyways.
No. I came to this meeting as a representative. You're the one who came and called me evil.
No. I called those who would grovel for power evil. If you put yourself in that camp, that's on you.
Yes? So tell me, what are your plans for the people?
An education. Fit of a food for everyone.
Our people have the opportunity to be educated,
Should they win the lottery?
or show that they are worth it. Rise above their peers, and even if they don't, there are numerous
You
academies
know as
throughout
well
the
as I do how
city.
corrupt that is.
And even if they don't, there are numerous academies throughout the city more than happy to take them. All we
You and
ask
I
is that
both
for
know
a
that
gift given, a
opportunity
price is
extends
paid.
only as far as your blood. I'm just hoping for a better city. For everyone in it. Not just those who are only elves, and not just those who are noble.
And
I
you
will do what I
think,
can to help them. I hope you are among my allies. And I do hope we can have a peaceful transition of power if such an event does happen.
Like I said, we would love a peaceful transition. But I can assure you, Lord Burning Oak, that you and I will never be allies.
I'm sorry to hear that. I truly am.
Perhaps there's someone else at this
You
party.
enjoy your drink now. As he sort of like stands up to leave.
Have a wonderful evening.
I will.
You going back to your booth, or are you leaving entirely?
Well, I don't think he would leave entirely.
Can't give her that
But
win.
he would-
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
It's
We
the,
can't give her that win.
it's the same
No.
thing on
By
if we let
leaving.
it's the same thing if we left the city. It's like, oh look, they're running. It's like, no.
Mhm.
We're here, we're not scared of you. Sit there, you know?
He's gonna go sit down. I assume he saw someone from Darwin Arthen here, right?
You did. Fenris Dwenarthen, the youngest son of the family, is here.
He's gonna go sit by them.
As you sit down at this table, Fenris is talking to a large number of what appear to be sea captains, and they're arguing. They seem to be arguing over the concept of whether granite or marble makes a better structure. As you kind of sit down, and the captain, everyone at the table kind of turns and looks at you. Oh, Lord Burning Oak.
Oh, the hell! I don't mean to stop the conversation. I do believe it's important to know.
Yes. Do you have any opinions on what the ideal structural stone for a building is?
I've never been educated on the stones themselves. I've seen reinforcements, both magical and material. But I am curious as to what the advantages of are both.
Yes, well, the argument being made at the moment by, well, our dear ambassador, Mr. Starwatcher here, is that marble has more of a sense of elegance to it, while I'm arguing that granite, although harder to mine, is a much more robust material. So,
If I may
Fair.
interject,
of course, and you are,
Lulin's bolt speaker.
of course, Mr.
one of-
Boltspeaker, come join us. We'll get you a drink as he holds up a hand and, like, snaps his fingers.
Thank you. No rush, though. It depends on the kind of building you're trying to make. What's its purpose? Is the purpose more for flashiness, or is it more for defensive structure? It depends on how much use this building is, if it's going to have high traffic flow. Or it also depends on the refraction of light.
Well, I think we can all be in agreement that any building worth its salt will have windows.
Absolutely. But you depending on the type of stone, I would suggest it depends on the type of building you're trying to use it for.
Are you not of the opinion, then, that all buildings should be a mix of functional and fanciful?
I believe that you can combine the two.
Well, of course.
Why not have elegance and structure? I personally think those two stones actually go great together.
There are...
kind of
You
like
must
a,
discount the utility aspect of any building, though, Lula.
Yes, but you can have the elegance of the flooring and the walls and decorations of marble, while as you can have the structural sounding and the entranceways as granites.
But there's also the matter of cost.
Yes.
Marble, as a softer stone, is significantly easier to mine, but what is the point in buying a pair of boots that will last 1 year cheaper if a boot that will last 10 years is more effective?
Lulin's like looking around, and he just sees like 4 glasses. And he's like, "Well, if we take these 4 glasses and assume that they're granite," and he puts like a menu or like a piece of like sturdy paper, just like presses down on it, then it's got to be sturdy. And if we change these things to marble, they're sturdy as well, but less time. So if we use the functionality of the stones as their purpose, such as granite, using for stability, then you're using the higher cost products for the most important things instead of 100% of the
So
building.
you do agree that granite is better then?
Sure.
Ah, I told you, Master Star Watcher, that granite was superior. But I'm sure that the discussion of foundational stones is not the reason that you've come over to speak with me.
Yes, I mean, I thought introductions were in order. I mean, I of course saw you at the auction the other night, but
Of course, my apologies that, well, I wasn't sat next to any of your friends, so I never had the opportunity to make an introduction of my own.
no worries at all. I am Elliot Burning Oak, as you know.
Of
The
course.
Limbold speaker.
Of course, and the rest of you?
Newsen, World Walker.
Would you like
Rockareem.
a drink, Master Areem and Madam Worldwalker?
No.
I already had one on the way in, and the drinks that were provided here, I believe, are more than welcome. But I do appreciate the offer.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we have the pleasantries aside, what can I help you with, Mr. Burning Oak?
Well, I was wondering what your plans are now that the city's not under siege. Surely you'll be able to get back to more elegant designs rather than those forced on utility.
Well, we never sacrificed elegance in the name of utility entirely. But it all depends on what the crown decides is best. During the war, we had the privilege of access to several granite mining sites outside of the Hadrani River. As you know, most of the sandstone that makes up the cliffs is more or less useless in the mining itself, in the structural buildings. But
Yes.
we've lost access to them since the king has restricted access to the Zrayan territories. So we're hoping, well, my large hope, my father seems to be more amenable to the crown's request, but my hope is that with perhaps a change in leadership, we may be able to forge our own bonds east of the Hadrani, get our mining sites back up, provide jobs to the people, housing, establish new settlements.
Interesting. I know that at some point we traded with Koboldia for those materials, correct?
I believe so.
Yes, to an extent, the Koboldian mining operations were expensive, let's say. Their mining techniques are not nearly as refined as our own.
I do wonder, there's a new group in Koboldia. Well, I suppose not new anymore. We've been there a couple of years. They're, Newsen, what were they?
Oh, the Myconoids.
Yes, Myconoids, exactly. I do wonder if they'd be better suited for that kind of work.
Even if they were, unfortunately, due to your brother's restriction policies, we cannot go west of the Hadrani.
Interesting.
Then maybe they can come to you.
It's true.
Yes, but that is a matter of business, of course. I mean,
Of course.
obviously we would prefer to leverage your brother in a way that would allow us to do business where we see fit. But as terms of your agreement, following the right of knives, our hands are bound.
Yes, well, the agreement was anything past the Nunir Shallows, I thought.
Yes, well, given the light of recent events, I believe that your brother has seen fit to limit us further in the attempt to not. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not quite familiarized in military matters, but to how was it put in the letter that was sent to us? Lower the chance of perceived aggression.
I see.
After all, we know now that the Minotaurs and the Furbolgs themselves have close connections with the land, and that's not something that we wish to spoil by any means, but the land is what gives our city its life.
It's true. Interesting. It's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if eventually we find a way to breathe underwater like our dear Triton cousins, perhaps we could do all of our mining at the bottom of the cove. But that seems far off, at the least.
Is there
Yes, it
no
does seem like a
is
bit
there
of a
no-
stretch.
is there no possibility of making contact with those Tritons you said? To
Well, they're not much of
To do-
miners.
Outside of Pushvarans, many of the Triton tribes are nomadic.
that's perhaps you could use that to your advantage.
Well, a mining operation takes decades of solitary positioning at the least.
Yes,
Would
interesting.
would not multiple nomadic tribes trekking the same path but offset not allow for something like that?
Oh, they do not trek the same path. Each of them sticks very closely to their own territories.
I
Wonder
would
if,
also like to ask about your people, your engravers, your architects.
Of course.
How do they feel about how they are represented?
Well, we do our best to represent their interests. I mean, their interest is in maintaining the jobs and careers they have, so constant development is always good for our people.
Of course.
Mhm.
Perhaps now that the Warforged have fallen, if we can get this damned Arcanophage under control, we might be able to start expanding outside the city walls again. I know that we've been
Hopefully.
undergoing several projects within the city in an attempt to build more housing where it was not previously. Several of the old buildings that were used for the war effort have been abandoned, so we've taken contracts with the Crown in order to refurbish them into housing for refugees.
Interesting. I do wonder soon if we do get the Acarnophage under control. There should be many contracts in Apud. From what I hear, it's been truly decimated. And I know that the original work done there was by your family, and it was quite impressive.
Yes. Well, given the tides of things, until the Arcanophage is under control, I see no reason that we would wish to rebuild Apud. I mean, its purpose was as a magical
course.
college, and if elves cannot practice magic, there's no real reason to have it.
True.
I invite you, Lord Burning Oak, anytime you wish. Do stop by our innovations lab. I'd be more than happy to give you a tour, show you on some of the new refining processes we're working on.
How interesting. I'll make note of it.
Perhaps strike some new contracts between my house and yours.
Yes, of course. I mean, as you know, as part of my new house, I was awarded a small piece of property. It's
Yes,
an older building on it.
it does have an older building, although we did our best before you arrived in the city to give it some renovations.
Yes. Well, anyways, I do appreciate your time and just your thoughts on the matters.
Of course, I mean, should you decide you want something slightly more regal, there's nothing like a tower with your name on it.
That's true. Anyways, good talking to you.
Of course, always a pleasure, Lord Burning Oak.
Elliot sort of gets up and goes back to his booth.
As you stand up, you hear one of the captains go, "But what about limestone?" And they just launch back into this conversation.
Perfect.
I'm not gonna lie, Karok's getting up from this table and just thinking, what stone am I made out of? Like when I do the thing. Huh. I'll have to ask that later at some point when they're done. Maybe if I ever get to meet these people again, because they seem to know a lot about it.
So, real quick, I just dropped in the BCH chat.
Yes.
You did not.
No, I'm dropping it right now in the BCH chat.
So you just lied to us.
This is
Wow.
that is a list of all of the nobles at the party,
Ah.
and that is a list of everyone else if you want to talk to anyone.
Oh
Can
my
you
word.
put a break between the two names?
Yes.
Like a
add an
space
emoji.
or like a dash line between them, so we know a difference. Thanks.
That works.
Oh. Get rid of that reaction, because Elarothi is... Yeah, there you go.
I thought someone else take the lead for a minute.
You're the only person who knows these people and the only person that was invited.
Even there's like we are quite literally. You know what? I might as I think I'll be a bit confident. How many people are on that list? Like, I was just gonna roll and see who I get.
There's
you-
5 that we haven't talked to, I think.
18, 19. There are 20 people. Roll a d20.
Oh, perfect. Croc's just gonna be like, they're doing good. I think I might as well try out.
Walking
some
up
of
to
this.
the next person he
There's
sees.
2 captains on here. I think Lulan should leverage his marriage to a captain to go talk to those captains.
Karak, you walk up to an elven woman who appears to be a merchant. She's dressed in fine silks, colorful cloths. As she kind of turns and looks at you on your approach, Karak.
Wonderful to make your acquaintance. My name is Karak Kareem. Guest of Lord Burning Oak.
She kind of looks you up and down. Ah. Of course. Lady Celine Starlight, ambassador to the crown.
Oh, lovely, lovely. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm rather new to this whole city, so I do apologize. Funnily enough, I'm an ambassador as well for the Lady of White Roses out whenever I'm not on a quest with whenever I'm not in the company of Lord Burning Oak.
I don't believe I've ever heard of the Lady of White Roses.
They are sorry, my words are failing me right
Quite
now.
the ambassador.
It's been a while, I will admit.
No, of course. Take your time.
Hmm.
Are you saying this in Common or Elvish?
Elvish, actually. Might as well do as the elves do and all that.
One in Rome, one in Zrea.
When in Zrea. They are the I guess the best way to put it is a leader of sorts, a fair number of followers, protector of some of the forests and the natural spaces of sorts. Specifically, I believe they've been taking up residence around Ulfast, I believe. And so
I wasn't aware
I've
that there
only
were many large forests around Ulfast outside of the Mellowland.
from what I understand, I've been sort of in a very far away from her for a very long time, and as such, I've only been able to
Oh.
bases, as it were, recently.
You've been traveling.
I guess one could say that.
Oh, where have you been? I was just last year in Daros. It was quite lovely.
Now, the real question is, does Karak... Well, yeah, because they looked at the map, so he knows of Alania. A rather luscious in Greenland that I called my home by the name of Alania. A bit of a farther trek than across the sea, but very, very wonderful. Karak actually is going to look in his bag and look for some of that shambling mound moss to sort of provide as a sort of like.
I think
Like,
Newson
this is
has it all,
like-
doesn't she? Or do
No,
you
I
have
don't
No,
one?
know.
he
Give him,
took
like-
one. I had.
I gave a couple pieces to you, and I kept some pieces for myself.
Yeah.
Now, Alania, is that an island? I don't believe I've ever heard of it, and I'm very well versed in the world.
I will say, I believe it's. I would say it's more of a continent, but it has been. I would say, well guarded over the course of its time. Not by choice, obviously. Many of the residents many of the residents, for all intents and purposes, had no idea of Sylvanara's existence until recently.
Oh. How did you come into contact with us? Did one of the Elarothi trading ships find it on an exploratory voyage?
Well, actually, Lord Burning Oak and their other two guests, as well as a couple other friends, found me out in the wilds. They had found their way over there, and they got me out of a couple bad scrapes. And I thought, seemed only right to explore more of the world. I've only seen compared to how big a whole new world of nature and resources and animals to explore.
And how did you come into the service of your Lady of White Roses here on the continent?
For a fair bit, the Lady of White Roses actually took up residence over there. One of the few who knew the routes of how to make their way there. I believe they actually hailed from there, but they've been around a fair bit longer than I have. So,
Of course. What led to, if it is an answer you're allowed to give me, obviously, what led to Alania's isolationist nature?
I would say it was not of any of the people who live there's choice. More a disagreement of powers that many of the common folk did not have say in, which is unfortunate. Thankfully, getting to connect back with the world has been nice, though it's only been recent. Unfortunately, I'm still learning some of the customs around here. I recently learned about a lovely phrase, a brainstorm, that seems so weird to think about, but once it was explained that it meant just to come together and bring thoughts and solutions to problems, it all made sense.
Of course. Well, this is a bit of a brainstorming session in and of itself, is it not?
Of course, it's lovely.
And as Karak and this woman kind of hit it off and just start talking about things, is anybody else talking to anyone?
No, I think Lulu's just kind of just taking in the atmosphere.
Just kind of staying near Elliot.
Yeah.
I don't think Newsom would be really striking up conversations with anyone in here. Especially not after
The realization.
all the guards
Of Gallandel reaching for their swords.
Gallandel were reaching for swords like when they approached. She's like very tense, on high alert.
Well, I must say, Master Areem, your Elvish is quite good. Are there elves on the continent you come from?
See, that's a question I need the
There
DM
are.
to tell player turn.
There are. Not a lot, but there are.
There are. They're very few and far between, but being an ambassador, it only made sense to make sure that I understood the languages of those less likely to have their voices heard. It seemed only right to make sure
Of
of
course,
that
I entirely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, gosh, this land sounds wonderful, but what do you think of our fair city?
Oh, it's been lovely. I will say a bit, much bigger and more grand than I'm used to. A fair number, a fair number of the more. I'll be honest. It looks like a lot of the more ruling powers that seem to govern there. It seems like a whole city fit for the gods.
Oh, you're not
Oh,
you're not one of those world tree kooks, are you?
oh no, no, not at all. I heard them in the street, and I was just. It's. Don't get me wrong. I am a big. I'm a more. I'm more inclined to nature, but I don't believe the way that they are discussing it and shouting it and the message they're trying to convey is truth. I am more. You can learn a lot from the forest, and you can gain a lot from it, but it is
Yes,
using magic is no punishment.
of course.
That
Well, I
isn't-
can tell
makes
you,
no
I've been
sense.
working in the refugee camps quite frequently since they've closed off the city, and the tune that they are singing is striking quite a chord with many of the refugees.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well,
I,
if it brings them something to hope for in these times, it's
mean-
hard times all around for everyone.
I suppose so. It has definitely been a tumultuous time to say the least. But should but I guess I didn't just come over here for pleasantries. Being invited here, I do have a bit of a vested interest in making sure that to know where everybody stands, especially in regards to
Oh,
Lord Burning Oak.
you're telling me you didn't
It-
see me from across the room and decide that you needed my company
Well,
at
your
a
company
political
has been
meeting
nice.
such as this?
Well, it has been nice to have someone who. It's nice to have someone to talk to about distant lands and what one might find there. Tiny bit of home, even if it's not the type you would expect.
Yes. What is your agenda, one should say?
I know Lord Burning Oak arrived here. Brock is quickly going to think to Elliot, just be like, "Hey, I just want to make sure I'm not misrepresenting you. Rundown of why we're here again, and what you're talking to people for."
Isaac, you're muted.
Isaac's left.
Ah, got it. They've sent. Lord Burning Oak has been very adamant about giving a voice to the people and voices to those who do not have the strength and power behind them to send their message further. As as a one who is so interested in trade, I think you can understand how traveling and finding different materials and collaborating with other creators and artists and material gatherers can be wonderful, and being able to make those less than likely connections can mean the difference in so many different ways. Making sure that the people of this city who don't share royal blood still feel represented by those who represent them.
Of course.
Mhm.
But, I mean, of the people in this room, I can assure you, Master Kareem, that I hold very little power.
Oh, I highly doubt that. Every single little bit helps, and especially when it comes to is a people, a nation less powerful, only powerful because there are powerful people at its head. It's the entire nation that gives it its power. Every person has has the ability to provide something to the table, provide something that others would never expect.
Yes, but one such as yourself from a isolationist land should know that the resources are only used to the efficiency of the leaders who designate them.
I suppose so, but at least in my experience with the isolation of everything, it definitely, I would say that, at least from my point of view, that collaborating and utilizing those materials for everyone leads to a more happy populace and a more robust leadership. Sure, the crown must delegate and must have the interests of their people met, but their people must also, it's a give and take, as it were. And it's only makes sense. And if you only focus on use of the crown and not the people, then what power does the crown truly have?
Well, the crown is only as powerful as the people it supports.
Exactly. And so making sure those people feel heard, I feel like would strengthen both the nation, the crown, and anything else that might within the purview of those.
Well, of course. I mean, that's why we're at this meeting. That's whether the crown should sit on a different set of shoulders than it does.
That is true. I unfortunately can't quite say whether due to the lack of experience with the specific crown, as it were, and as such, I would refer that to more Lord Burning Oak's issue. But if you would ever like to discuss anything with Lord Burning Oak or any of us, anything that might be or ask more about him, do feel free, because
Well, I'd be more than happy to discuss things further with you,
yes,
Master Reem.
mm-hmm.
But perhaps in a different venue.
Does seem to be I guess that does make sense. I won't hold you any longer. I thank you, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. And feel free to keep the moss from Elenia. Perhaps at some point we can build the roads and we can build more connections between the two places to lead to less isolation. Oh,
Of course. And
I think
when shall I be seeing you again, Master Arim?
well, it's not often that I get to be in the wonderful company of so many wonderful people. Last time I was seated at a what was their name? What was the name of the place where with the racist uncle?
Oh, House Tavernar?
Oh yeah, House Tavernar was the last event I was
Oh,
given the privilege to be at, and I was sat right at their table.
I heard the meal at that banquet was exquisite, though.
It was as someone who knows of the hunting habits and the benefits of fresh meat. It was wonderful. The company, I would hate to be so bold, but may have been better with a different person. I feel like they probably would have been more grateful to have Lord Burning Oak instead of me at their table. Well, again, I won't take any more of your time. Good day.
I do hope I will be seeing you again soon, Master Arim, but a good day to yourself.
And Karok's just gonna head back to the group, because it's like I just did all that. That was nice.
As Karok walks away, the rest of you see her raise an eyebrow and look him up and down before turning back to the party. And I think that's where we'll end the session.
Hold
Rock
on.
made
Hold-
a friend.
I have a 25 on insight.
Oh, she's into
her eye
him.
say? Yes, my boy.
Doesn't even
The
realize.
undeniable oblivious Riz.
Listen, I have proven time and time again I am the master of that.
A blizz, if you will.
A blizz.
Lulin sees her, looks like makes eye contact with her. He's just gonna mouth, "I got you." He's just gonna point to Croc. He's just gonna point, "I got you."
Oh, she's not looking at you.
No, I'm pointing at Karak.
I know,
looking at her,
but she doesn't make eye contact with you. She's focused
Got
on
it.
Karak walking away, enjoying the view before she turns back to the party.
I hate to see him
Damn.
go, but I love to see him leave.
Can we get a roll on what the dump truck is on Karak?
Roll me a d10 for a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
A
Roll
D10.
roll a d10 for dump truck.
Okay.
A D10 for
Oh
dump truck. Oh no, there is no dump truck. She doesn't need ass, clearly. She's into the personality.
This man's barely a pickup.
Listen,
Oh, he might be a sedan.
It's smaller than Little Red.
All right, we're gonna end the session there. Thank you everyone for
It's a
joining us
toy
tonight.
truck.
Thank you to Sky for the raid. Vital, 12 months. It's been a year. Thank you. I do appreciate it, as always. Master Jake, thanks for the follow. Thank you to everyone else. Thank you to all of our players. We have Elliot Burning Oak played by.
It's Isaac.
What?
I'm tired. Anyways, I think my favorite part of today was when I, the only one with context of this whole group, left momentarily. I thought that was kind of funny. Good job, Karak.
Then we have Karakareem played by.
hello, it's Terminian Link VT. I really liked the conversation that we had to have with Elliot. I think that was a needed conversation for Karak, and it's nice to know that that's there.
And then we have News and World Walker played by.
It's me, the Sky T. I think I kind of enjoyed overhearing Karak's conversation as well with this.
And last but not least, we have Luland Bold Speaker played by.
It's me, Brado. And absolutely, it's Karak rizzing it up.
He doesn't even realize that's what the memory potion gave back. It's Riz. That's it. Oh, that's why I have a maxed out charisma stat.
Yeah, because you're rizzed up like no tomorrow.
Every warlock is.
Right, Lulu's gonna teach you how to do proper squats.
He's like,
All
we need to
right.
work on that.
Everybody, thank you for joining us. It was a great session. Episode 112 concluded, brought to an end. Next is episode 113, ending with an unlucky number. We'll see how much I decide to take that out on the players. But
Oh no.
we have a couple more things going on before that. Tomorrow we have Chapter 2 of The Fires of Eureka. If you haven't seen Chapter 1 yet, it is up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend watching that. If you want an easier way to find that, you can join the Discord, check it out. I highly recommend watching it because it is very fun and you will see the world's smallest cleric.
Yes. World's smallest cleric, Ness.
Wednesday, we will be back doing some more wonderful Deep Break campaign testing. Last week I got a little caught up making character sheets, which I still haven't finished, but we're just going to run it. So, we'll go from there. And then, I don't know if I work Thursday. At some point this week, I'm going to do the stream for the Disaster Tour Survival Challenge, which was on TikTok, if you didn't see it. Make a noisemaker. It was fun. We'll see how it goes.
Heck yeah.
And then, stand by for more YouTube content, because I decided that I have too much time and I should make more YouTube videos of me doing dumb things.
Oh boy.
Yeah, should be fun. Should be fun. Maybe I'll try to survive 100 days of a Minecraft hardcore world, and we all know how bad I am at surviving Minecraft adventures. One of the first red lives on Boiling Point, baby.
So true.
And the winner, though, so maybe I'm not terrible at surviving when I have one life left.
I was gonna say you're the best at being not the worst.
Yes. I
Best at
suppose.
being
I
almost
only
the
survived because of your generosity.
That's, yeah.
But everybody, we're gonna send you off to Glitched Rune, playing some Assassin's Creed. Go learn history through video games.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun times, and until next time, don't do anything I wouldn't do. The bar is so low. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow in the land that is constantly on fire. Goodbye, everyone.